Oh my goodness. Hello. Welcome to Cerebral Arcade. I'm Stacy and it has been so long since I've streamed. I am so happy to be doing this and to be here and to see some people actually came back and showed up and you guys are amazing. Yeah, it's been months. So basically what happened, as you may or may not remember, I moved and it's just that thing where you move and your desk isn't quite set up, and then my computer wasn't quite set up, and then I got a new job, and just kind of one thing after the other, and it's kept me away for way too long, and I'm so glad to be back. And so many of you had asked and said, oh my gosh, are you gonna finish some of these games that you started? And yes, I am. And so I know it's a little bit strange after several months to be picking up Night in the Woods right where we left off, kind of right in the middle. But we're gonna do it and it's gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna rely on all of you to help me kind of get back into it and help me, remember where we were, remember what was going on and all of this. So one of the interesting things about doing narrative streaming and talking about narrative and talking about progression and character development and stuff like that is that, like, on a streaming schedule, it's a little bit hard because naturally people are dropping in and coming and going. And, I think there's kind of this thing where if you miss some of it, you don't necessarily want to jump in or be spoiled or any of that. So first off, I'm really grateful for all of you coming in and bearing with me through over long breaks. And the other thing is that I think in the new year, we're gonna maybe try to stream some shorter games. So this means doing more indie stuff, probably more like Twine and text-based stuff, and potentially doing longer streams too. So we'll see how it goes. There's a new schedule. I'm gonna be streaming now on Mondays at this time. Thanks for coming out to the new time. And Wednesdays at 4 Pacific. And then Friday, I think we're gonna kind of catch up with broadcasting some reruns of really old stuff that I streamed a couple of years ago. Maybe throwing in some streams from Scholars Play, the other stream where I kind of initially got my start. And yeah, just kind of seeing if any of that stuff catches and kind of breathes life into some old stuff. And you can kind of see my progression from a baby streamer into where we are now. So yeah, without any further delay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. I did remember right at the last minute that I needed to grab a controller for this game because my first stream of this game was a little rough without the controller. Just some of the platforming was a little bit difficult on WASD. But all right, let's do it. Let's dive in. So where we left off, we had May, who had returned home from college under something that seemed like not the greatest circumstances. We were kind of reconnecting with some of our old friends and having these increasingly rough dreams where it's kind of been revealed that some stuff may have happened while we were away. And yeah, we have our handy journal to catch us up. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff we'd kind of formally talked about were things like mental health and how difficult it is to kind of convey heavy subjects in games without necessarily becoming like overly heavy or didactic or, kind of spouting a message really hard. And so far we've kind of been dealing with themes of coming of age. What does it mean to become an adult? We've had a lot of tension between our character wanting to feel grown up and not being treated very grown up by a lot of other characters. Let's go with what? Oh, weird. Yeah, the classic, hey, don't go check this thing out. And it's nice getting a little bit of bonding. I like the way that some of these exchanges are written in this kind of, you know, breezy, a little bit sarcastic way. It makes the mom very sympathetic. Certainly more sympathetic now than at the start of the game when we were getting these very dismissive kind of, uh-huh, sure, sweetie, without mom actually listening to what we were saying. So we did go to the mall. We did some shoplifting. We did some pranking and kind of played with the lights and stuff. And yeah, let's go. Ooh, I like the color palette change with the rain. Yeah, see if I can remember the layout. So one of the other games that I wanted to finish this week, which several people have been asking me for, was I never actually completed Act 5 of Life is Strange. So I figured maybe later in the week we could also play that. And the nice thing about Life is Strange that, you know, is a little bit harder with indie games because they don't necessarily have the budget for it, is the kind of recap of, hey, here's what you were doing the last time you picked this up. Let's go slightly more sarcastic. We can just smile and laugh if you want. Nah, maybe another time. The poetry, I remember the last stream, the poetry was really, really bad, but in this like adorably, hilariously bad way. So yeah, I also recall my character seems to be having increasingly disturbing dreams, and there's been some hints and suggestions that there's some kind of like dissociative stuff going on. I don't know why. I stole a pretzel on the first day, and now this is a thing that every time I walk by, I want to steal a pretzel. There's like some mental roleplay thing going on. That's a really great touch, though. Good design. Yeah, and these guys who seem to be really dismissive of me the last time. Yeah. Just interesting. The people younger than me also being super dismissive. People older than me being dismissive. People younger than me being dismissive of a non-sentient cat. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to move. I was thinking about going to jail. Like, you're planning on going? That's a great question. Oh, and this may prompt us to talk about our nightmare. Nope. Which is interesting to kind of call up that parallel and then not have us share. Off doing stuff. Yeah, let's hang out. Mechanics. That feels very meta. I feel like because the graphics are a little underrepresented, the, developers threw that in just to kind of be like, no, this is not what you think it is. You're always my #1 crime friend. I like Greg. I also like how he's like, follow me, and then I clearly lead us away. I'm about to beat this car up, aren't I? I mean, it's a fair question. You brought me out here to beat up a car. Ooh, am I not in the army, or am I a general? I feel like I'm probably a general if I'm in this army, but, let's say... Yeah, I'm a general. He does have a hat. It's a fair point. Oh man, I think because of the graphic style, I did not actually realize the tree was growing through it. I thought that was like a perspective thing. So, yeah. Oh man, both of these are great questions. Smash capitalism. All right. Yeah, this has a very Street Fighter feel to it, which, I love. It's just always fun to smash cars in games. Just always. I don't know, fine never means fine. It's interesting, I didn't get a choice to respond there. Cute. I will say, I like the kind of, the mini games, and it's an interesting way to kind of have, how do I move it? Okay. So it's interesting playing the other side now. I'm gonna say yes. Yeah. The tone is really good. Feels really appropriate. Uh, let's go with this. So I like this idea of kind of playing Sharkle here, because it still feels like an extension of playing May. Like, it still feels like basically this is my inner voice talking to me, and I get to decide now how I'm going to talk to myself, which is really cool. Yes, probably. That's me. And suddenly Sharkle is Greg. Yeah, the dialogue does a really good job of kind of communicating voice. There was definitely a nice subtle transition there between the writing of Sharkle feeling like an extension of May's voice, similar tone, to then having, the kind of laughing creep in, and it sort of gradually feeling like it was shifting over. That's actually a little bit hard to do in text, and so, yeah, I think it's really kind of a testament to the writing in this game that they were able to do that. I taste pennies. Oh, he's very self-conscious about the helmet. Remember those big, like, robot cartoon characters? I forgot how much I love the arm animations in this game. The little ear twitch animation is great too, like when May idles, but the arms are so good. I forgot that in the first stream there was kind of this moment of spaghetti arms that communicated excitement in the best way. And that moment just now of, May kind of, oh my gosh, also just great. Yeah, nice little moment there of, hey, here's player, here's what you need to know about that guy. Friendly banter. And then that moment of, oh no, that's not okay, that's a phobia. Also, Greg's little eye narrow there. Really good. Yeah, and all I'm controlling here is continuing the dialogue forward. This one feels like the answer that is actually revealing a little more to Greg. And I like this moment of kind of relationship growth and development between them. We've got some banter, we've got doing things together, actually expressing a little bit of care for each other. And I do sort of like that at no point has Greg said, "Oh, I don't believe you." It's just like, oh, okay. Couldn't have been that important. Okay, I'm just gonna laugh every time the arms do stuff. Like that! So good. Okay, we got parts. Okay, I'm not totally sure what I'm supposed to do here. Yeah. There we go. Oh man. Ooh, this could be interesting. If there's a right answer here, this is gonna get real weird, but otherwise, this could be fun. Okay. What do you think, chat? So, anything weird and crazy? Yeah, part of me wants to make it horrifying. And I'm totally not that person, but I feel like May is, so we're gonna take this off. What an interesting thing for, you know, friends to be hanging out doing together. Just casually building a robot. Alright, move these little guys down. Do I have to use all these pieces on? Probably. But I like that it gives you the knife, right? Like, is that good? It's beautiful. Aw. Yeah, this game has done a really great job of capturing that feeling of returning to your hometown after you've been away for a while and kind of expecting everything to be the same, but realizing that everything is really different. And this moment, yeah, feeling that feeling of, oh man, things not only have changed, but are about to irreparably change. Mm. Yeah, and oh, hey, I have a tattoo now, and all of this stuff. And it's interesting too that Greg's also expressing that thing of, oh, you're actually reminding me of this person that I used to be, and in the process of calling that out is sort of saying, but I'm not that person anymore. Yeah. Oh. These moments where it's kind of awkward and but feels very real. It feels very authentic. Best friend though, in some ways that makes it a little worse. I don't know. It it really this game does an excellent job of really capturing a feeling. Um, Certainly a feeling that I felt the first time I went back to my hometown after moving away. And yeah, and like I also love that so much of the conversation in this game happens while you're doing other stuff. Oh, I would get electrocuted again. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, one other thing I really like about this game is that a lot of the conversations feel like the player has the option whether to continue them or whether to just kind of move on. And in the process, it feels like I'm being given the choice as to whether I want to cultivate a deeper relationship with the person, or at least try to, or whether I can just kind of keep going. Yeah, and now starting to get the pressure from dad. Um, yeah, let's do it. That's great. Okay. Just jumping around my house, as you do. And it sounded like the boxes still are probably not going to be moved. Yep. Okay. Ah, yes, computer. Little sharky. I do like May. Very sarcastic. I like the pauses too, which I think is really underutilized in general in games. Okay, I also have a secret weakness for those shows. I went through a serious unsolved mystery binge a little while ago when I realized that that all the old unsolved mystery seasons are streaming on Amazon. Yeah, that's too bad. Okay, another dream state. I do like that the physics feels a lot more floaty in Dreamland. Kind of communicate to the player this is something different. I mean, in addition to the visuals and everything. Yeah, so I think we did a thing before where we were trying to kind of bring back the different musicians. Lighting of torches feels so Zelda. So certainly this game seems to be putting itself in dialogue with kind of other classic games of Western canon. Which is interesting, because anytime a game does that, you sort of want to ask yourself, like, why? What are they saying? What sorts of things are they trying to communicate with that? What do you think? This does very much feel like a classic rolling up on a boss fight sort of situation. I don't see another porch for that one. Music definitely has that feeling too. wish I had a run button. Yeah, I don't know, we gotta be missing one. Where could it be? This is basically where we started. Jump down. And chat if any of you know this game. So know what it is. Doesn't seem like this is supposed to be a complicated thing. Sort of stuck. Not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Definitely feels like I'm missing one. I mean, and you know, one of the things about the lights is that it's indicated to me where I've already been. But I'm not sure. One of the things I've really enjoyed about the modern adventure game is the addition of things like skipping certain puzzles, where this is kind of starting to feel a little bit tiresome, where I'm like, okay, I know there's just one thing I'm missing. Where is it? I could try like reloading this area just to see if there's anything. Or chat, yeah, if you have any hints. Okay. That definitely felt like some dream logic, for sure. Definitely that moment of, huh, what was that? Okay. Kind of vaguely scary, but in a way that if you tried to explain to someone would not actually sound scary. Nope. Oh. It's cool. Yeah, so we hung out with Greg yesterday. I think today I want to go hang out with Phoebe, who we were sort of just starting to reform our relationship. I have to remember the geography of where Phoebe works. I don't think I've seen a goat. That was cute. Okay. It's not actually clear to me if jumping is faster than running, but it just kind of feels like it is, so it's that Zelda roll thing going on. No, didn't mean to. I mean, I guess I could take a look at that board. I don't know if I've ever looked at it. Harfest. Possum Springs, more like Awesome Springs. That's great. Interesting. Calling things out. Okay. And Casey Hartley is missing. Oh, this sad person. That's depressing. Yeah, let's hang out. That sounded super sketchy. Just casually. Alright. Yeah, I like the reference to children's books, because at the end of the day, these are all a bunch of talking animals in this very kind of paper cutout aesthetic. Kind of a nod there to, yes, we know. What counts as a main course? We're not children. Yeah, again, with the sort of infantilizing, why do you want dessert? Now let's do green beans. Greeny beanies. Yeah, let's do mashy smooth. Yes, mashed potatoes. Yes. Mashed potatoes are like my favorite thing. Cool sides. We already got 2 sets. Bakey shaky, heck yes. Okay. Cool stuff. I feel like we're getting a lot more than we originally intended to, but that's fine. And now we can walk over where we couldn't before. Ahoy there, ladies. Meet friends. Do we want chicken, fish, pork, or beef? Let's do chicken. The ham panther? Yeah, I'm a little torn on my relationship with B, to be honest. Like, on the one hand, you know, I want to have this narrative of reconnecting with my old friend and all of this, but at the same time, she seems like she doesn't really want to be friends with me. So I feel a little pathetic. So this is interesting, where if I choose this, I sort of have no idea what I'm about to say, which is kind of an interesting role-playing moment. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, we keep kind of having, you know, these dialogue moments from B where there's a lot of like, look, we've got money for this, we've got money for that, which in my experience usually indicates people that don't have a lot of money, which I can say from experience. So, yeah, should be fine. And so this is kind of an interesting moment too, where B is clearly, like, definitely putting in a lot of work to support this family and all of that, and then you kind of have this power move from her father, and this kind of pause and eye movement that indicates, oh, maybe there's some power dynamics going on here, which maybe aren't the healthiest. But that moment has basically just made B a much more sympathetic character, because I think we're sort of conditioned to, you know, to see characters in lower positions of power as more sympathetic. So yeah, we have this moment. We can reminisce, or we can kind of talk about future things. Let's reminisce a little bit, see how... Yeah, let's go with that one. I wouldn't say any of these things. Okay, alright. We'll go with that one, I guess. No, it's really not. Okay. This is a little bit of a moment that's a little tough in terms of agency. I sort of get that there's a roleplay aspect here of these are things that this character would say, even if they're not things that I would necessarily say. But man, it doesn't feel great feeling like you don't really have a choice with what your character is saying. That's creepy. Yeah, and this moment kind of reinforcing that lack of agency that I just felt as a player, and saying like, oh yeah, and even this is not an actual choice. Like, say these are basically the same choice. So yeah, that it's a really interesting contrast because I just had this really wacky, ridiculous minigame, and the game's kind of pointing that out and saying like, yeah, you just did this fun thing with this other character, and I'm a lot of work, and I'm a real relationship that's going to be hard sometimes. Is that, you know, which thing do you want here? I hope there's a way to recover that, because that felt really rough. And I do sort of wonder if I would have had that same, uh, if I would have had that same exchange if, for example, I'd hung out with B yesterday and Greg today. Like, I do sort of wonder if the game is forcing us apart. And the slow walk out of the house. Yeah, I think we're gonna skip talking to Dad and maybe just go to bed tonight. See if anybody messaged. Yeah. Trying to connect with B, but can't. Yep, let's do it. It seems like a pretty common trope in games to sort of force the player between relationship with one person versus another. And it's kind of rough because there's sort of a rhetoric in that that's kind of arguing that you can't have multiple relationships at any one time, which, you know, I don't think is entirely true or fair, but so it goes. Okay, hopefully today we'll just find everything and it won't be as difficult as it was yesterday. Or at the very least, if we do feel like we've found everything, we'll just go back to the start. Which, yeah, just kind of want to make sure I got everything to the right and the left. Oh, right. And I do, actually, I'm only now remembering that, okay, this little thing here indicates how many of the musicians we found. Oh, here. Hi. We'll go back to heading up in just a second. My headset keeps cutting out. If my audio is cutting out, if you could just let me know, chat, because I'm not sure what's causing that. Very creepy sound. Awesome springs. Think I can make this jump? I do not think I can make this jump. Ah! Okay, but I made a different jump that I didn't realize I was making. Okay. Whoa. Oh man. I wonder if I could have ridden that. Hopefully I can make these jumps without it. Okay. We got bear. I do really love these color palettes of these nighttime scenes. Hey. Creepy. Bird. Wondering what happens if I drop down? It won't let me. There's a wall. Okay. Sound is getting very chaotic. Okay. Oh, there's a wall there too. I was hoping I could drop down somewhere. Okay. No. We got one more to find. intense in this train here. Alright. Oh wow. Yeah, these are definitely progressively getting creepier. Definitely noticed that I've started, you know, checking my computer both before I go to sleep and when I wake up. It feels very much like my real life. Okay. Happy Halloween. Okay. You know, I didn't even check on the boxes. Check those. Yep, still there. Okay. Yeah, that sort of feels like it's gonna be an endgame something or other. Okay, say hi to Mom before we head out. Good morning. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, seriously, this feels a lot more aggressive than the conversation we had with Mom yesterday. Wow. Wow. Okay. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. So yeah, that was a little intense. I mean, also, like, I think that as this game sort of reaches this dramatic climax, I, as the player, am feeling a lot more dissociated from the main character. The game hasn't really put me in the position to feel the same way that the main character feels. So a lot of this is just kind of like the main character is having an experience that I'm not. And there had been kind of a couple of things that had indicated there might be some dissociation that May was feeling, and so I think there's something to be said there for the fact that as the player, I'm also kind of feeling this disconnect. All right, fair enough. Interesting. So that's interesting. This kind of, I go out, as soon as I'm out, the game's like, you should go back. I do feel like it might have been nice to have at least one objective in there. This one, definitely. Hanging out embarrassing online places. Totally fine. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll just go home, since the game's like, hey, go home. I could go see my friends, but I'm starting to feel a little bit of increased dramatic pacing at a time that it feels like certain gameplay elements are slowing down. So I'm feeling, as a player, a little bit of a push to try to move things forward a little more quickly. Okay. That was a nice moment. No messages. Okay. Yep, everyone's gone now. Okay. Harvest. Level 10, so cute. Alright. The Wheel of Destiny. Okay. Let's do it. So I'm gonna understand some things, I'm not gonna understand others. That's kind of a great fortune. Okay. Keep heading. Yeah, there's some really subtle and interesting things with the way the camera kind of pans in and out, or zooms in and out. Yeah, that's really strange. These little moments of kind of symbolic representation are really great. It's the same kind of pleasure that you get in actual theater, where what you're enjoying is not necessarily the accuracy of the depiction, but it's how well the symbolic representation of the depiction communicates the essence of the thing. And I keep having these moments as well with this game. It's the same thing that I loved in the wiggly arms, and yeah, the kind of applause there, really cleverly done, really good. I think games are particularly well suited to this, and it's why a lot of times I think games with lower level of graphic fidelity are actually able to communicate things better than games with high level of graphic fidelity. Hmm. That's great. Yeah, curse upon rude young men. So that's interesting. After the first couple, I had kind of assumed that the game was just gonna let all of them be correct. So it's kind of great that the third one was like, no. And the interesting thing is that I don't actually know that the other line would have been correct. Like, I kind of assumed that, but I don't actually know. Oh no. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, because it's kind of like, oh, is he speaking to me, or is this all lines of the play? And it's actually really well written to kind of be right on that cusp, kind of implying the double meaning there. Yeah, so both of them leave. Whoa. Aww. Yeah, my movement is now seriously limited. I can only walk slowly, and I can't seem to jump or anything. Really, really great use of color for atmospheric effect, though. And movement. I mean, really slowing down the movement like that and bringing these sound effects. Making this feel reminiscent of my dreams, but in a different color palette. Oh my gosh, that sound. It's very distorted on my end. Part 3. Okay. Wow. So I think I might step away for just a couple of minutes and maybe just take like a quick 5-minute break. And I will be right back on stream. Thanks for hanging out.